A week ago in Dunedin, France took the All Blacks to the wire. So tonight's clash here at Sky Stadium will be very much under the spotlight. This time down the blind side they go. Beautifully worked set move.
Oh, what trickery.
Big charge from Ioane. Got it off the hole. Oh boy, oh boy. Goes straight across. And a chance for Ioane. Rico Ioane gets it. The All Blacks have won the game by 43 points to 17.
Sounds good, eh? Well, awesome, man. Sort of keep on going from here.
Like I said at the start, your goal's to play everyone. We'll have a look at the casualty ward, try and make some calls. Now, 3-0 is our focus.
Hello and welcome to the breakdown. Yes, what a great afternoon and night it was at Sky Stadium in Wellington. First, the Black Ferns got the job done against the Wallabies. Then the All Blacks, they secured the Dave Gallaher Trophy for the first time since 2021 from France. A dominant performance, something very, very special to watch in front of what was an outstanding crowd. Looking forward to what we're going to discuss tonight. There's plenty to debate. There's a number of players who are unavailable through injury, and I've got the men to do it for you. Justin Marshall, welcome back. Mills Muliaina and Stephen Donald all have plenty to say. As always, we're looking for more quotes every week, Beaver. Bring us home. But ultimately, are we feeling better, gentlemen, this week on a Sunday, Marshy, than we were 7 days ago?
Well, I think so. Look, the performance has reinforced that. It's easy to do that when you have a good convincing win, don't you? And obviously the changes that the French made affected their performance as well, particularly in that first half where the All Blacks were so clinical. And I'm starting to like what I'm seeing in terms of the shape, the way they're playing, and they learnt from the first test, didn't they? Their kicking strategy, the kicking game in general was a lot better, and they didn't get beaten up in areas they did in the first test. So yeah, positive.
For you guys?
Yeah, absolutely, guy. I'm like Marshy, positive. Just it's another week of intent. It's another week of trying to play at pace, and I think that the pace of their game went up. I mean, straight away from that penalty on halfway, Cam Roygaard taps and goes. And for me, that was like, right, they've been talking about it all week, and they're wanting to take it to another level. So, you know, it's not the perfect finished article yet, but I love the intent of the positivity.
But also everyone being on the same page. I think it was, you know, lots been spoken about the expansiveness of how they're going to play, but they built that on pressure. They earned the right to get a little bit expansive because they put pressure on by, you know, putting kicks in behind. The chases were effective as well. And then from there on, they just gained confidence. So confidence from a really good week, some great analysis. And you just heard Razor then. You know, the key and the goal now is to get the third. Yeah,
and we expected them to get better, and they did get better. Well, it's important we get what you think on this show, and in your shout tonight, we've got a number of questions, but the first one is here. Are you more confident in Scott Robertson's coaching after the first two test matches? Stay with us, get online, scan the QR code, and give us your thoughts. Looking forward to what's going to be a great next 50-odd minutes. Here's what's coming up on tonight's show.
We take a look at the second test from Wellington and our standout players. And with that rather nifty All Blacks line-out move, we celebrate set play tries. The Black Ferns smashed Australia, but what does it mean for their World Cup hopes? And with the Lions' first test just a week away, is Stephen Donald still picking the Wallabies?
So many parts of the game here. There were some interesting scorelines. We'll get to that a little bit later on in the show. But Mills, if you think about the performance of the All Blacks and you think about you expect them to get better and how you respond, this is how the world responds. Amazing what a week can do in the game, right? Look at some of these things. All of a sudden we banish the Dunedin Demons. Full value, never threatened, punish France. A week ago, we're not that flash and France are right there. Let's get carried away. I mean, ultimately, is it our job here, I suppose, to keep things calm and, in fact, not overreact to results because this series is not done. This season has certainly got a long, long way to go. You mentioned it, though. What aspects of our game in particular were impressive enough that you feel as though we can take that on in the season?
Well, our set-piece functioned, didn't it, right from the get-go. Even on defensively, it put pressure on France, but also the fact that we went there with intent, and our intent in being on the same page. The week earlier, possibly not, you know, a short time in, 10 days, but still we probably expected this performance in that first test. But I think I love the way they came out and they said, hey, lots of talk around the aerial game. They didn't really go up high. They went long and sort of chased hard and built that pressure. So I think set piece, which is always what you want to keep dominant, and also the intent of how they played the game.
What did you make of that strategy, Marshy? The fact that they started keeping the ball along the ground, it was determined to play a couple of phases, and then it was like, we're going to kick for space. They clearly, and Razor mentioned it in the post-match show, they'd identified that France didn't have many in the backfield. They had a pretty front line that was pretty flat. But in terms of that philosophy, do you like that? Will that work against other teams?
Yeah, well, I like the balance in it, because what they did was they didn't kick predictably. And when you do that, then it's easy for the opposition to set for it. There was plenty of instances where Beauden Barrett went over the top. I think over the top to Savia. You know, what can that man not do at the moment? Cam Roygaard's long kicking game was really, really good. He kicked in better channels. Out of hand, everybody had their moments, including Will Jordan. And I think they just varied it enough that the French just couldn't kind of get their head around exactly where the kicks were coming from or where they were going to. So I think it was more just being smart, you know, and we saw it executed really well.
And the smart side of it for me, Marsh, is if we go back to last year and compare it, it's the setups. Like when we're coming out of our 30 or 40, we're actually looking like we're a threat to run. Yeah, you guys talk about the front 12 or 13 of the Frenchies and not much back there. Then that's because we are actually set to run as opposed to just being predictable and letting them know we're kicking.
Yeah.
And I get the sense, Mills, as well, all of a sudden, it seems as though we're creating more opportunities. We're doing things slightly different. Last year, I felt we were predictable. Last night in Wellington, it didn't appear as though we were playing to a structure per se. It was trying to keep the ball alive.
But that's also confidence. You know, this sort of stuff is our game. It's in our DNA, the ability to pop, but also understanding the support player they've got to get in behind as opposed to the width, you know, because you're wanting to play a wide sort of a game, but getting in behind and you're getting those sort of rewards. That's off the back of what the guys have just said. You know, you build pressure around getting down the right end of the field. You know, Roygaard's kicking, they've got us there long, and put the French under pressure. You know, they were doing that to us in the first test, and that's what I liked about the performance last night. Everyone said there was a game plan, kick over the top. You still got to execute those kicks, and I thought Beauden Barrett done them, you know, exceptionally well last night too.
You can see it formulating what they're trying to achieve. It's there, the basis of it. I don't think they're anywhere near where they want to get yet, and they might be holding back. Because if you try to throw the kitchen sink, then it becomes real messy. I think we went through the French really well, narrowed up when we needed to. The one break on the outside was from a forward, which was Artie, which we just saw, you know. I'd like to see the evolution as we punch the middle, we've got great narrow attack, we're tough there, we can play in the right areas, but we can go around teams. Once we start going around teams and around that blitz, we're going to have a really well-balanced, dangerous game plan.
Well, the news with Tupou Vaa'i ruled out through concussion protocols after the game. He failed his HIA as he got contacted through it. It means that all of a sudden our locking stocks are a little bit thin. Scott Barrett's not available for the rest of the season. And look, I thought in regards to Tupou, he's been covering lock for us. This is a bit of a loss now, Mills, the fact, because there's philosophy around, and that's obviously an unfortunate collision. But this is a bit of a loss considering the direction they were heading, particularly up front.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and the fact that, you know, who else comes in? I think Garcoy's been in camp for a wee while, but, you know, what's that sort of third option for locks? Patrick Tuipulotu stood up, you know.
How good was he?
He was awesome.
He was awesome.
He was awesome last night. And so that gives you a bit more confidence in the fact that our senior players are really sort of starting to stand up. But, yeah, it's kind of... And, yeah, Fabian Holland, another test match under his sort of belt as well. That's a bit of confidence for him too, and he's been good too.
Let's talk about Patrick, because he's played no rugby. I mean, since he's been knocked out, Beaver, from the Super Rugby playoffs, he hasn't been out on the field. I think that's what's great about having experience like this. He knows he's a big body. He knows how to use it. I think, for me, he was a standout performer.
We talk about him being knocked out so late in the Super Rugby. He seems to be fresh. Like, I've never seen him carry so much, Marshy. He was everywhere, and those carries, he was dynamic as Tupou Vaa'i was.
He was, and he was punching through areas others couldn't. Yeah. You know, it was just, he had really good body height, good leg speed. Like you said, he's a big body, knows where he wants to go, and he's still got subtleties as well. And you notice in those carries the width. You know, he's not carrying into 1-2 defenders, the two pillars. He's trying to hit 3-4. You know, so he's smart. He's an intelligent rugby player, you know, and I think a brilliant performance. And in regards to Tupou Vaa'i, I think they were always working to get him back to lock eventually, though, eh? Yeah. Because of the problems. I've got loose forwards injury at the moment, Jacobson, Larkai, Satiti. But they now know that he can play there and play there pretty well. He's probably caused them a bit of a headache more than anything else.
Well, coming into this third test as well, I'm not sure they would have thought that Fabian Holland was going to play all three. He's 22 years old, Mills. I know. 22 years old. Yeah. We've found something special here. If you ask me, you know, and I'm not an expert at lock, but if you watch him, it was like every line out we threw, he was in clear air. He's such a big body. I mean, 22 years old, you can start the opportunity and where he can get to. What's the ceiling on this young man?
Oh, mate, it's massive. I mean, when you talk about big body, but you're thinking the size as well. And some of his carries are exceptional, but also the fact that, although he's a big man, he's got speed when you're lifting in the lineouts. He stole a couple earlier on.
Yeah.
But off the back end, if you think about the injuries that we've kind of had and the guys an opportunity, he's always been, there in the, I suppose, in the woods, ready to sort of come through. Now he gets an opportunity. He's had 2 sort of starts, and his engine is massive.
15 from 15. Yeah. It's one of our tight forwards, and to me, a lot of your defence, yes, you talk about your loose forwards and what they do around the park, Beaver, but in terms of your tight forwards, being able to make tackles, and when they make tackles, all of a sudden you're attacking the opposition breakdown in so many different ways. In regards to our forward pack, do you get a sense where we've taken a step forward to where we were last year?
Oh, hugely, and I love the way that they're getting around the park and playing. You mentioned that top of the show, the DNA and what have you. Like, I know the try that Tupou Vai scored, one out of the box, but the fact that you've got Artie roaming and offloading off the ground, not allowing rucks to be set, then Tupou Vai is bursting through. That's where, obviously, their bread and butter is the set piece, which obviously Fabian Holland's been brilliant at. But getting them around the park and doing what they're doing, that's been the encouraging thing, because, again, I think it's going back to what we're good at here in this country, and we still, as our point of difference, as our skill set amongst those forwards, I think is still unrivalled around the world.
And we saw some of that in Ardie Savea, something we saw through Super Rugby, and we were wondering whether or not they'd find a way to incorporate that into the All Black game. Yeah. And there's no doubt about it. Clearly he thrives being a leader in a team, because I think he was better this week than he was last week.
Oh, clearly he was better. Yeah, I thought he was outstanding, man of the match performance. But what I liked about the way that he grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck was the areas he was prepared to play in. He's prepared to play tough through the middle, which we saw, which resulted in his try, but obviously his breakout as well. The chip kick over the top with Beauden Barrett. He plays with freedom when he's in that 7 jersey as well. We could always just play all the tests in Wellington. He seems to
he likes playing there,
to rise when he's played there, doesn't he, regardless of what colour jersey he has on. But yeah, just brilliant. And you can just feel him in the mix of that team, how he can operate if he's allowed to do that and with the freedom. But the freedom had captainly responsibility, and didn't he do that well? Yeah,
absolutely. What we do have is we have some fan questions coming to us on the show, and one of those is talking about the disrespect you talked about in the past with the French, Marshy, and I think about now how important it is the third test for them, because they need to show something. Yeah. And it might be a little bit disappointing last night as well, and the fact that they didn't stay out on the field with the presentation of the Dave Gallaher Trophy, which I think is disappointing. The fact, because we would never do that over there. I know they'll be disappointed and frustrated, but for me, there should be a respect between these two teams. Absolutely. There always has been in the past.
Yeah, well, I was there last year when the trophy got presented to France when they lost in November. The Dave Gallaher Trophy, and the All Blacks stayed there respectfully, and they always do. And the French, they need to probably learn a little lesson there, that the game is only finished once a presentation like that has been done, because it's a very important trophy between the two countries, There's
a huge amount of respect in regards to the past and what these countries have gone through. It's an important part for me as well. But for you guys, making sure, next week they've got to show something, because they didn't show what they were capable of last night, and I'd be surprised if we don't see some sort of response.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was 10 changes from Dunedin to Wellington. Did I go make another 10 and go back to the team from Dunedin?
Well, I would, if I was them.
Certainly showed something. And I know we were better, got rid of the Test 1 rust, but, yeah, it's to be fair, I think it's a worry for them. Like, end of the season, they're going to be in Hamilton, not everyone's favourite city, Millsy. Yeah. So how are they going to go? How are they going to front?
I look at it from a different perspective. I think, what was this tour for them? What were they going to achieve? They're going to achieve coming down and giving some young guys an opportunity, some inexperience. 49% of them were, debutants. And so when you come away from that, you've got to also remember, look at the second half. They scored 2 tries to the All Blacks, 2 tries. So, a team that's sort of, really down in experience. What do they take out of it? Well, I think when they go back home, the fans are they're more forgiving over there than what they would be if it's the other way around with the All Blacks. And so I don't think they'll mind too much. So I think they'll go out there and say, well, we've got some experience under some guys' belts, and we'll build for next year.
You're keeping it real in terms of what happened in the game, and that's what we're here to do on The Breakdown. Justin Marshall, you've found something about the All Blacks' defence. You'd maybe like them to tidy up a little bit coming for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I would do. Look, it's hard to criticise a team that's playing well, and 2 test results at growing and getting better, but we need to make sure that they are improving. The players will know this, the coaches will know this, but I just want to point out defensively some errors and some misjudgment in reading where players are. So this is the first instance in the Test match last night. You can see here the All Blacks got plenty of players on their feet, but they haven't recognised where the space is that the French are going to attack. You can see it there marked in blue. It's a disconnect between Fabian Holland and Geordie Barrett, and as we roll it on, you'll see that they're going to hit that space, and we haven't covered it, haven't brought those players from the far side across, and luckily for us, Beauden Barrett got a hand on that because they had players in space and could have scored a try. This instance, a try is scored. And you can see again, we've got players with their eyes on a front runner, not recognising where the threat is out the back in Segon and Villiers, leaving big space outside that third defender again, and through the French go. And then finally, you can see here, they've got a really good line, all on their feet, marked up. We've got width out wide as well. And as we roll it on, you'll see who the ball carrier is going to be in the midfield, but watch where the eye line of the All Blacks goes at that ball receiver. So it's nice and flat pass. The eye line is looking out the back at Segon and the other runner, not at the front man this time. And there's plenty of players here to make the tackle, but unfortunately that concedes a line break, which also resulted in a try. So, look, it's very unusual for the All Blacks to have teams go through them and create line breaks like that. But more importantly, the mismatches, players just not recognising where the hole is, where players are coming, and marking up on the right people.
It's always an important part of the game is quite often that getting that connection and finding it, and we're going to go up against teams, and we'll show some examples, who've got some unusual ways of attacking us, since the Springboks in particular have found some ways that I'm not sure are 100% legal. But we just have to keep improving, right? But that's always the challenge for the All Blacks, is the fact not to take a step backwards. Reality is, though, we might see a very different team in Hamilton for the All Blacks if Scott Robertson sticks with his plan, Mills, to give players opportunities. He said that before the series started. Do you think he's going to stick to his guns?
I personally wouldn't like to see that. It's a hard one because you want to be giving guys opportunities. I still think there's areas in the game that they've got to get a connection in the end and build those sort of relationships. The midfielders, the 9s and 10s, the loosies.
Specialists.
Yeah,
Specialists.
Yeah. So I know who wants to, and that's the hardest thing when you're in the All Blacks, because you want to get results, but at the same time, I still think we're in that period where we've got to build those sort of relationships in those key positions.
You're not sure there's some players you'd like to see though, Beaver? Or is it just a Chiefs team you'd like to see rolled out there? Anyone who's fit and available and they've worn a Chiefs jersey?
Hamilton's Hamilton. No, I agree with Millsy. I mean, it's not the under-10s where everyone gets a turn, and
Otherwise, you get some angry parents.
Yeah. I mean, I coach the 5-year-olds, and I get it too. But everyone does get a turn in my team. But I think with the All Blacks, I mean, look, you've got to bank Proctor again, and guys like this who are getting their chances. And like a lot of what Marshy's showing there is all around connection. Well, these guys are 2 weeks into the season, Goldie. So the only way you get connection is playing more together.
Yeah, we'll look a little bit deeper into the selection for the third test against France coming up. It looks as though, too, you're a bit more convinced than 2025 and how Scott Robinson's travelling, and rightfully so after a really good performance last night. Well, there's been some trickeries and there's been opportunities taken, and scoring a try off a line-out, well, it's an art form, and there have been some very, very good ones in the past. Check some of them out.
Coming here. They transfer it back to the front, and they are driving hard with purpose at pace, and I think it might be Khaleesi, is it? Oliver Brown. They do win it. Now what? Here comes the big shove. This looks pretty good. Try. And Taylor to the front. It's a variation and a score. That is a bit of line-up genius from the All Blacks. And the throw is good. Pops it up to Tony Woodcock. There's the first try of the final. What a move.
Noah's been more close to the action than you have, Marshy. Have you ever actually been in a line-out maul?
I've not been in a line-out maul.
How could you
I've lifted, though. I've lifted in a line-out.
What?
At the front, yeah.
Single man lift.
Single man.
It was clearly a good athlete, or was it a very small one?
Very, very small one.
That what it was?
Yeah,
I
one
mean,
of the Lucy's.
I mean, and let's be honest though, we're all been. What is the thing that the forwards practice the most? Line-outs, eh?
Oh, they love it.
Love a line-out.
Oh.
Everywhere you go, they love a line-out, right?
And that's why, I mean, that's why it's so rewarding when it comes off, right? I mean, they're getting a little bit innovative in terms of how they've done it. The ones over the weekend, I love the way they sort of, have analysed that. For us backs, that's what we see. We see them sort of getting amongst it, and I mean, this was outstanding, wasn't it?
What about the self from Christian Leawilli?
Yeah.
Oh, what about
it was so good, wasn't it?
It was
Yeah.
really.
They were really smart. The other thing that does amuse me about lineouts and forwards, just very briefly, is because I've been in the conversations, is the secrecy behind their calls.
Oh.
Like, honestly, they don't know where it's going themselves. They get that complicated code. You can just see them trying to figure it out, and they just end up following where the ball's going. But what I liked also was the innovation of they didn't actually lift Fabian Holland a few times, and they didn't lift there either. So the French are ready to throw someone up, but they've just gone straight and left the guy on the ground. And that's doing something that the French weren't expecting. So, yeah, hey, for all of that code work, something works in there somehow.
Yeah, well, it's an important part of the game, Beaver. But it's something as backs, right, when you get that we're going to split, and you look over and they're doing, it's just constant. It's constant.
They had lights, they'd still be in the car park.
Oh, they'd still be in the car park. Well, let's go through some
let's try
lineouts.
this.
Let's do some lineouts, no doubt about it.
Well, it's good having no forwards on the show, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll bring one back eventually. Well, look, there you are at home. You're 65% more confident in Scott Roberts' coaching in 2025. A lot for us to discuss coming up. I'm interested to see what you're going to go in terms of the next part. Is we're going to talk about the Black Ferns. That's what we're going to get your shout on the Black Ferns. And what it's going to be is the fact, how confident are you that they can go back to back? Can the Black Ferns, who are looking really, really good last night, yesterday in Wellington, they were impressive. Will they win the World Cup, which is just, I think, 40 days away from kicking off? It was a fantastic atmosphere in Wellington. And Joey Wheeler, he's just got something about him. He definitely adds to the energy in any city that he's at.
I think tonight is our night because we are the best tonight. We are the best.
If you're Scott Razor Robinson and you're in that shed and you get to give the last word to the All Blacks, what are you saying to them?
Piss bowl them.
He's
I think we are going to win, man.
Good luck to you, mate. Good luck to you.
Good luck.
No pads or helmets for our boys?
No, definitely. Especially, I had experience of playing last year and playing full 80 minutes and tackling each other and getting the contact in. And it's definitely a perfect game for the boys. And I'm excited to watch it.
And Jackson, for you, if you were to play, what do you reckon? What position do you reckon you'd lace them up at?
Someone that hits somebody. I don't think I'm running the ball. I think I'm hitting somebody.
There's always one cock in the crowd, isn't there?
Yeah, it is.
What do you do, mate? They're not here till They're not here for a couple of months, bro.
I'm here to spy.
We know you're the world champion. Stop rubbing it in, all right?
I'm here to spy. Rashi sent me.
I'm a little bit disappointed, of course, but we are really glad that we had the chance to see the All Black in real life, you know? So go All Blacks, also go France.
Yeah, we lose, but it's a great match. Let's go.
We will become stronger. We will come back. Thank you.
Kia ora e te whānau, welcome to today's massive double-header coming to you live from Sky Stadium here in the capital.
New Zealand really looking to give it some air. Here's trouble. Miller around one and then releases Woodman-Whitcliffe. Clear run to the line here for Portia Woodman-Whitcliffe on her 34th birthday. Morgan will have to clear, goes blindside to Caslick first touch to Charlotte Caslick. Eventually it comes for demand and now runs again. Holmes coming up from fullback, looking to release Woodman-Whitcliffe, bumping on one and getting his second try. Miller a chance to try and get some of her silky skill set going as she does just that. Georgia Miller through one, through two, and over Georgia Miller, brilliant! And now Hohaya looks to roll a little kick in behind to open spaces. Chase coming for Ruby Tui. The ball's going to sit up for him. And Ruby Tui. They keep their unbeaten record against Australia with a 37-12 victory here in Wellington.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't perfect from the Black Ferns. It was just 10-7 at half-time, but in the second half, all the work they'd done, it certainly came to fruition. Then they came and got across the line. It was an impressive finish. They're not far away, not far from selecting their side, going to a Rugby World Cup. The question is whether or not you think they can win. I think at the moment, you're not sure, but you think 46% done deal. Well, we've got some things we probably let you know, because England have won like 25 games in a row. The last time they lost the game was the last time we played them in the Rugby World Cup final, and we're going to play this World Cup in England. It's not going to be easy, but ultimately, guys, and Beaver, this is for them. Quite often we talk about the All Blacks going to Rugby World Cup, it's about winning 3 games. Reality, it's probably for the Black Ferns, it's semi-final and final. What you saw on the weekend, have we got the team that's capable of going to that tournament and winning?
Oh, certainly in the second half. And I think, obviously, you talk about the struggles of the last couple of years and obviously how dominant England's been, but for a lot of that, the 7 skills have been nowhere near it. And you think the highlight package shows Georgia Miller, for example, you know, what she's added. Portia wasn't even going to be in this team 3 or 4 months ago, and she says, no, I'll go. And for anyone that was live there yesterday could see how incredible she was, Goldie. So, yeah, after yesterday, a lot more hope.
Yeah, I think the loose forward trio was really impressive to me. And in regards to their line-out play, it was really good. But this is a Wallaroos team that's always struggled, has never beaten the Black Ferns. Marshy, it's about pressure, right? It's about delivering in 2 games. And that's actually quite a long way off for them in terms of preparing. They've probably got the benefit of time now. Once they get together, they've got some pool games. But there's enough talent. My question is, if we play the percentages, or should we chance our arm?
No, I don't think they can play the percentages, particularly against England. You know, they're just too strong and too big up front. You could see the simulation of the way that they want to play. Like you mentioned, the loose forward trio worked really hard. They're really mobile. I think that's the type of game New Zealand needs to get to. You've still got to be tough up front. Scrum was good, set piece was good in general, but I think they need to be real mobile, to just run those teams off their feet, tire them so that they can't defend.
Yeah, Stacey Waka, Portia Woodman, you talk about the talent in the back line. Obviously, Braxton Sorensman, he'll come back. I mean, Mills, you look at them, as the fact that when we played that Rugby World Cup here in New Zealand, it was like we didn't kick the ball. We literally were prepared to play from our own 22. That was our best opportunity to play. I get the sense with this group, I still think that's the best way to go to this World Cup and win.
I think that's where they're going. You know, there's similarities to the last Rugby World Cup where they went all out and started, to run everything. They wanted to play on the top of the ground. The hardest part with that against an English side is you've got to have the skill set to be able to do it, and the connection, the similarities there with the All Blacks, getting a group together that sort of played with Georgia Miller. I mean, man, she can play as a back, a forward, sort of whatever, but if you're going to play that expansive game against the likes of England, you've got to be prepared to make sure that the skill set's on and that you're fit. Because they certainly will be. We
look fit though, Beaver. I mean, for me, we looked fit last night. We look as though we're in great condition. They've still got a little bit of time to sharpen those things up. But clearly for me, I look at it as the fact that if we're prepared to hold on to the ball, if we're prepared to shift the space, there's an element of risk with that. But if we play it safe, I don't think our kicking game, and at the moment one of our issues is our goal kicking, is the fact that we just cannot accumulate points in games. We're just not kicking well enough off the tee. We'll have to score tries.
Yeah, and I think Millsy and Marsha both talked about playing on top of the ground and playing expensive. Well, and someone with Ruhe there, and her ability to ball play, we were lucky enough to be end on yesterday, and some of her pass selection and how she's a threat and square and being able to pick which runner to go. I mean, it's tough to defend that sort of skill.
All of those games in the Rugby World Cup are live and exclusive on Sky. Let's have a look at their pool and what it looks like. So, the Black Ferns, they take on Spain, then they take on Japan and they take on Ireland. There they are on the 25th of August, the 1st of September and the 8th of September. And they are, in reality, probably going to be quite comfortable. They should be. Ireland will be a challenge. That'll be a nice way to finish their pool play. But this is a huge opportunity for them. The fact that they're a wonderful team, they've got a great history, and they've always managed to come together at a World Cup. Particularly the last one, they were underdogs, and I think they did it then, and they can well and truly do it again. And I've got no doubt you, as fans, as well, will have voted. This is what the rankings sit like, and that's the difference to the fact that there are 4 clear teams in the world: England, Canada, New Zealand and France. They are, in all likelihood, going to be your semi-finalists going into this Rugby World Cup. And That's the two games we're talking about, semi-finals and finals. There's Ireland, Australia, Scotland, Italy. If you look at the other side of it, why am I bringing up the men's rugby rankings? Well, at the end of this year, gentlemen, what they're going to do is they're going to pick the pools for the Rugby World Cup. And remember the shambles that was that, and they go far too early. Well, these games against France, funnily enough, are actually helpful for the All Blacks. The fact that we get a little bit of space and a little bit of gap, and you've got to be really, really careful. Now, this World Cup is very, very different. There's 6 pools of 4, and there's a round of 16, right? So you don't go to the quarterfinals. You actually have another knockout game before that. So how you cross over and where you are at the end of this year, Mills, is pretty critical. Otherwise, we end up, if you're not careful, what do we have? 4 teams meeting each other in the quarterfinals, who are the top 4 teams in the world. So France are running out of time in regards to cementing their place in the top 4. They've been one of the best teams this year, but they've chosen to give that away, that advantage already here.
Well, they have. And also, the Lions series being on, it's not really helpful for the Northern Hemisphere teams. But I mean, we were talking about it off here, weren't we, Beaver? The fact that, they've got under-strength sort of sides, apart from probably, the Welsh, because they've only got one in the Lions. But this is not a good chance, for them to beat.
Hey, hold on. They beat Japan. They've won a game of rugby the first time in like 19 matches.
Catapulted to 12th in the world, I think, didn't it? From 14th.
Yeah, it helps, mate. Every little bit helps, mate. Imagine what this... I mean, we were talking about it last week, though. I do feel good for them in some ways.
Yes.
The fact that you can put that behind them now and you can maybe start looking towards the future.
Yeah, 100%. And they've gone through a lot of pain in those last few games. So to get that against the Japanese, a little bit of momentum leading to that. And, hey, all the wins count these days when you're talking about the pools.
Well, 664 days, Goldie, my calculations told me. But again, also, I mean, don't say it on the screen.
Great calculations.
Nice work, though. I'm also the producer here at Breakdown People, if you didn't know. But also a great result there for Fiji, Goldie. You're talking about the rankings and where they sit and where they deserve to be after the last World Cup.
Scotland are a tough nut to crack, too, which the Māori found out about. And, this Fijian side, who probably should have beaten Australia, man, that's a great result for them to beat Scotland.
But what about Argentina? I'll just say Argentina, they managed to lose again to an understrength England side. But they beat the Lions, for crying out loud. All right, I mean, this is you can't take some of these for granted, but this is credit to England. We've sort of known England for a while now, though. They refused to go away last year when they came to New Zealand, and they've got well and truly enough depth and a good competition they play in to develop players.
Yeah, they have. And what these teams are actually getting in terms of advantage with their players being out on the British and Irish Lions tour is the fact that they are getting to blood some players that most likely will play the All Blacks later in the year. Wales and England have both got the All Blacks, so as is Scotland. So a lot of the other players are getting opportunities and they're managing to build some depth. So the other thing it'll do, though, is like if they do keep having these random results, some of these top teams will end up in the middle of the pool somewhere, and it'll be an absolute nightmare. So we want some consistency, man.
I'll tell you
top teams, senior top players.
Well, you know what's consistent? The number 1 team in the world, and it's South Africa. And they were very, very good again overnight against Italy, and they played a raft of different players. But I tell you what, they've certainly opened up some conversations about some of their tactics. Beaver, run me through this.
Yeah, look, saw this morning, and I was wondering what sort of state of mind I was in. I was wondering if I was seeing what I was seeing, where the restart, they deliberately gave away a scrum to get the game going, and this one, setting up a maul off a ruck from a line-out jumper. Technically not allowed, apparently, Goldie.
Well, no, at the moment. At the moment, it's a real grey area. I'm going to say that in terms of that, I reckon that'll last a week of being allowed.
They'll look at it. Both of them incidentally led to tries.
Yes.
Even that one that we just saw, the first one that collapsed, because it pulled all the defenders in, the halfback took a run and I think centre went through and they scored, and then that one they scored too. So it works. So they'll be a bit annoyed if the World Rugby do rule it out.
Yeah, well, they picked it up off a first 15 in South Africa, Paul Roos High School. They picked it up for their second 15 or something.
How would you feel if you're Italy right now? They're guinea pigs, man.
If you're a prop. Imagine if you're an Italian prop. Oh,
far out.
Well, look, I look at a number of things, though, and what we're asking of is consistency. Well, out of this game, we know we had a try ruled out last weekend from obstruction. Just watch what happens to the Argentinian centre here. Oh, yeah, no, he didn't get touched. Look at this. Full speed. Yeah, no, play on, try. Now, I did hear that the try in Dunedin should have been allowed. It shouldn't have been disallowed. they've come to agreement that wasn't enough contact. But that's absurd, Marshy.
Well, that's knocking a player off his feet onto the ground, which didn't happen in Dunedin. So that clearly is more of an offence than the one in Dunedin. So that should have been officiated. Consistency, that's all we ask for, lads, don't we?
Well, Scott Hansen saying, well, what do you say he wants the TMO to have a cup of tea? Well, he definitely had a cup of tea during that one, didn't he? The TMO.
He's gone to Beaver's burger stand at Wellington. He's in the queue for 20 minutes.
Righto, look, we know it's a couple of months away before the Springboks come, but the fans want to know already from us. They want to hear, are we good enough right now and strong enough to beat South Africa, Beaver?
Yes, if we stick to how we're playing and build on that, sort out Marshy's defensive things. But I think how we're playing, we can play them our way. And that's going to give us the best chance. We're going to have to try and keep the tempo going, which, Marshy, isn't going to be as easy as it is against the French, isn't it?
No.
These guys, they have a bomb squad, so they can pull the next 6 off the bench, but also they're a hell of a team.
I might say this. I think we're adaptable enough to be able to counter anyone. When I start thinking about no Tamaiti Williams, no Tyrell Lomax, there's a lot of experience in guys that I think we can come back in, Marshy. I look at it and go, you know what, I like the direction we're heading, but also I start looking at the profile of the way we can play and the strengths we have, the fact that, because we know we won't be able to play all of our game. We'll have to, at some point, play some percentages.
And we know what's coming as well. Because last year, those 2 test matches over there, which we competed in, and they would have got a lot of confidence out of that, albeit, you know, losing doesn't help. But when you see things and pictures are painted and you go, righto, because their team hasn't really changed much, whereas ours is evolving and is changing, and we'll get to a mark, I think, where we can really cause them some problems. But we are not there yet. No. If I answered your question, I would say no.
Not yet.
If we were to play South Africa tomorrow, South Africa would win.
I think we're heading in the right direction, but South Africa are looking good.
Mate,
I think I'd have to agree with
They have got some rhythm.
But what it does show with the All Blacks is we've got a lot more to offer, you know, heading into that game. But, man, that's going to be massive. 31 years also, Eden Park. We haven't lost there.
I just want to quantify that statement because...
quick, here we go.
Here we go. Paraphrased and go all over social media.
Hold on.
But I do think if we keep going in the direction we're going and trending the way we're trending now, we will beat them in September when we play them. But if it's tomorrow, no.
You've heard all of that. Beaver, come on now.
You be careful here, mate.
There's a quote off going here. There's a quote off.
I'm all in. I've said we win.
You said we win. You're all in.
I'm all in. Yeah. Garden of Eden, please, Goldie.
Here's the thing. It's funny. I'm going to do what Mills normally does. It does is the fact that I think there's no doubt that we're going to have the ability. The fact that right now they'd be favourites. They would be favourites with everything they've gone through. But there's no. Yeah, I know. But that's ultimately how I see it as well. I'm really interested to hear what you think in your shout about who should start in the third test. These guys have already said they might want to see some consistency in terms of selection. Does Timothy Tavatavanawai get an opportunity? Duplessis Kirifi. Ruben Love, the fact that earlier on he was one of our original polls, he should have started at 10 from the fans at home. So, looking forward to what you think in terms of who should play in Hamilton next weekend. While we're having a bit of a break here, we'll talk about all of the things coming up on the weekend after the break.
Aussies, I was going to say will. The Aussies will win the Lions series.
3-0 to Aussie, you reckon?
3-0, 2-1.
Well, I was going to let him know you thought. They will win the Lions series. It could be 2-1.
He actually didn't say they, he said we.
That's right, he did say we. He did say we.
Win the Lions series.
And that was a pretty good Anzac 15 that got an absolute hiding last night. Beaver, what are you thinking right now? Like, and you've seen Noel Olasil ruled out of the series, the starting first 5, who was going to be the guy driving around the park. James O'Connor's back.
Yeah.
He's the man.
I don't know how Vay will go now.
You're not sure. A lot can rest on this. He's not a young man, this old man's shoulders.
Yes, no, brilliant. I mean, brilliant to see James O'Connor back there. Obviously, I would say James O'Connor, Bernard Foley, it was probably down to those two, and they went the man who's had a great... Excuse me. I'm choking on my 3-0. But had a great season with the Crusaders.
It was impressive this week, though. This is impressive this week from the Lions, wasn't it? I mean, the Brumbies.
I wasn't prepared for that playback. Did I say that?
That's why you're not producing the show, so we can put things like that in the show. Look, in regards to the performances, though, in terms of the Brumbies and the Anzacs, they've been very, very good. I'll go to you, Millsy. I'll go to you, pull it together.
Well, they have. Well, we all know now it's amusing what he said, right? So, given what the Lions have done.
They're 5 from 5, and they look really good.
I think, yeah, and they lead into it. I mean, so many guys in different positions are sort of, running for those sort of spots. You look at the centres, even up front, the Furlongs and co, and Sheenan in at hooker. When you go out a little bit wider, with even the halfbacks. I mean, but they're looking good, and also pretty expensive too.
Yeah, the thing that's impressive about them, and I sat down with my beer tower to watch this last night, and I was looking forward to it because I thought they were going to tip them over, this Anzac team, is their defence. And they might not have got their synergy because it's barbarian style. You're throwing guys from all different parts together. Yes, they're Australian and New Zealanders, but they're coming from all different clubs. So they're not going to have great rhythm. But what I expected from them is to have massive X factor and make line breaks and cut the lines open. They couldn't even do that, because the defence just shut them down. They blobbed them.
Yeah, but the skill
48 nil, man.
But the skill set we're seeing from this Lions team, Beaver, the fact that they're keeping the ball alive. Like they're not looking for contact. They're doing things that I suppose are testing the Wallabies. They're going into Australia and taking them on essentially at their own game, and they're better at it right now.
Oh, I mean, you look at them on turnover ball for the last 4 weeks. They are absolutely razor sharp on that turnover ball, and their accuracy as far as once they get into the 20 or 30 marches, I know it's a key stat for coaches these days as far as converting your opportunities.
Yeah.
It seems like every time they get down there, they get points.
But even tempo, right? We talk about the All Blacks playing with tempo. They're prepared to go quick taps and catch you off guard as well, and that's what I really love about it.
Quick line out at the weekend.
Big time.
Yeah.
The first test is this weekend coming up between the Lions and the Wallabies, so that's massive in terms for the Wallabies. They need to be competitive. At the very, very least, show they can be in the fight. Well, you've had your voice. Who would you like to see? And you'd definitely like to see Timothy Tavatavanawa get an opportunity, and Ruben Love. Duplessis Karifi maybe get a start. You guys have talked about consistency, though. And I suppose my question I'll have to you is, though, when are these guys going to get their opportunity? The fact to shine, to feel what it's like to play under pressure. Marshy, the fact that when Ruben Love's the guy that if we had a problem at first 5, if we had an issue, is he the guy that you go, he now has to cover that position? If we don't give him that opportunity, would you like to see him maybe on the bench this week?
Yes. I think because we need to keep developing our combinations, which we've all spoken about, and make sure that those combinations are secure, they're trustworthy. You know each other in and out in these high-pressure situations. You've got to keep building that. So to introduce these guys who I feel deserve their opportunities, so don't get me wrong, then it has to be off the bench, because you have to try and maintain that 15 to develop those combinations, and then be innovative. Like, we could do 6-2 split if we wanted to. If we wanted to try out an extra couple of forwards, you wanted to do Jacobson and Karifi, put both of them on the bench, and then you could go Hotham
and Ruben Love.
And
that's what Rieko Ioane gives you as well, right? Rieko Ioane gives that cover.
He can move across the back line. They're all supposed to be able to play multiple positions, so we adapt. The French changed the game at the weekend on us and wrestled the game back the middle of that second half because they changed 5 players at once.
Yep.
And 5 had came into the forward pack and they really steeled up. We don't seem to do that.
No, we don't, do we?
We don't respond. We just stick to our 60 minutes. These guys are going to be trundling on and off, and so why not now? We've got the opportunity, we've won the series, get some guys that haven't played tests before and deserve the opportunity, but do something different off our bench that nobody's seen before.
Yeah, I'd like to see that too. I think that's the only way to sort of start introducing them. I'd like to come off the back end of next week and have a comfortable win once again before we start feeding guys. And I think it's having that sort of flexibility off the bench. We're so good at sort of changing the game in that aspect. Now it's almost like we're just sending someone on for an injury or something like that. No?
We talk about changing the game. Like, if we just look from a back's point of view, Ratama, McKenzie, Tavatavanawa, like, how much impact have you got in 3 guys there? Like, I think that's the exciting part. And you talk about Marshy, like the difference that you could make in that 20 minutes, like the French did yesterday. Like that's 3 explosive athletes to throw into the mix.
We've talked about using our 23, but it's almost like we've never fully gone all in.
No, we
and
haven't.
gone, you know what, we're going to trust these guys to go out and change the game. And that's the one area I agree with you, the fact that those guys have to be given maybe more time. Trust them the moment the opposition, OK, let's counterpunch straight away. We're not going to give you a chance to wrestle the momentum.
Exactly.
And for me, I think we've got a number of players, but I've also got a number of guys who might become available. And Quinn Tupaia, I'm not sure where he's sitting right now. Luke Jacobson comes into the fold, where he would have possibly been the starting number 8, maybe, if he'd been fit and available when Wallace Satiti went out, you know. So I would be surprised if we didn't see the odd change for me. And we're going to see one already, but given the fact that Tupou Vaa'i is going to be ruled out. Who starts at 6 for you? Is it Sammy Penny straight away, or are we looking for Jacobson to maybe fill that role?
Well, Sammy Penny has sort of filled that, but Luke Jacobson would be there, and you'd probably put Sammy Penny, you know, keep him off the bench to cover lock if you're not going to go for a sort of 6-2 sort of split, and bring, I suppose, a Luke Jacobson in there.
Yeah, I mean, how committed to the concept of the 3 big line-out men, then suddenly does Sammy Penny, you know, when you look at what's left in the squad, Marshy, he's the obvious one, isn't he?
He is, yeah, he is. And look, they seem very now committed to RD at 7, and that then solves a big problem.
Well, I think they're just going to throw the ball to Fabian Holland. Don't worry about the line-out. They just keep throwing it. Wherever he is, they'll throw it to him. Well, there's great action in our under-20s campaign as well. They're through to the semi-finals of their World Cup. They're taking on France on Tuesday. I had a chance to catch up with their first 5 this week, who's been playing fullback Rico Simpson, and asked him how the preparation and week's been going.
No, good. It's been a good couple of days of prep. Body's a little bit dinged up, but I think the boys are getting through it and preparing well. So I think captain's run today, and then build a bit of confidence going into tomorrow should be good. It's been pretty hot over here, mid-30s. So I think the boys have dug deep in the last 20 minutes of games to close it out, and we're a smaller side, so it's better for us to keep the ball moving and keep the game fast. So we pride ourselves on the fitness. I've never played fullback at this sort of level, so it's been good challenge for me going back there. And then obviously I'm comfortable playing 10, so looking forward to going back in there this week. And it's been good. It's been good experiencing different kind of sides, different views to the game. So it's been good fun. A few of us have kind of lost to them, and we obviously want to get that win back over them. So it's something we think about. But again, it's under 20s level. It's different teams every year, so I think kind of got to prepare for what we've seen this year and keep focused on that, and I think we'll be good. After last week, we've kind of slowly built into the tournament, so it's been, the confidence has sort of grown each week, which has been exciting.
6'4" he is. 6'4" first 5. That's tall. This is the semi-final on Tuesday, 4 a.m. It kicks off. It's massive for them in terms of their development and opportunity. Remembering that they decided to change their coaching staff, their head coach. They didn't have one, and they've gone in and they've got better every game. I'm fascinated to see how they play out. As fascinated to see how the classic All Blacks go this week. Coached, or are you player coach, or Stephen Donald is taking on the Pacifica Legends? That's on Friday. This is at Eden Park. Please get along to this. Be entertained.
Yeah, we will entertain, and no, just straight head coach.
Head coach. Are you not wearing boots?
No, I've got to do my job right, and
You'll be mic'd up, I hear.
I will be mic'd up, and my first job as head coach, I kept 3 spots free. So I've only named 20 players. So 21, 22, 23.
Oh, no wonder you choked on your water earlier. Right? There's no chance that that's going to happen. How many people have you got staying at your place, Millsy?
Well, I'm billeting out the well, the classic All Blacks at the moment.
Oh, outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Look, we know the big game really this weekend is the third test. It's the French and the All Blacks going once again in Hamilton. Marshy, how much are you looking forward to this? The fact, the direction that the All Blacks go, but also which French team shows up?
I'm looking forward to the test match, always do, against France. Be very interesting to see the changes that Scott Robertson and his coaching group will make and the response of the French and how Fabien Galtier approaches this game in terms of his selections. Equally, it's our last hit out before they go to Argentina in the middle of August. So it's got to be a good performance again and go there with confidence.
There's a last fan question coming in. It's not about what just happened to you. It's about we need more forwards on the panel.
No one cares.
No, we need more forwards on. It's not even a question. It's a statement, Mills. I mean, I don't know. Do we take that personally?
Oh, no, not really. We don't. Do we? I mean, we know enough about lineouts, don't we, guys?
Come on, exactly. I think we know what we're talking about. You're comfortable where the All Blacks are going to be after this
I'm not comfortable with no viewers are worried about my health, but
apart from that, for you, Mills?
Oh, look, I'm looking forward to it. I think you're right. It's all that. I'm looking forward to the continuation of our game plan and also the combinations of the confidence. For France, though, and this is everything for them. They can really upset the kettle if they get up and make it a close one.
Is there one player for you, Beaver, that you'd really like to see get an opportunity in Hamilton for the All Blacks?
Oh, look, I think we're all in love with Tavatavanawa, aren't we?
I think, well, the fans clearly are.
Yeah.
And I think there's some reasons. It's exciting to watch. Look, there's no doubt about it. It's a special time of the year. When you think about test matches, you've got games coming from the Lions. It's so much fun to watch. The fact you can watch all weekend, which means we're looking forward to Monday and Tuesday where we can recover. But it's great to have you back, Marshy. Look after yourself, Beaver. Take care of yourself. As always, Mills, on behalf of me, thanks for watching us. We look forward to seeing you in 7 days.
A week ago in Dunedin, France took the All Blacks to the wire. So tonight's clash here at Sky Stadium will be very much under the spotlight. And this time down the blind side they go. And Cam Roigard picks up the opening try of the game. Oh, here's Tupou Vaa'i. Oh boy, oh boy. And a chance for Ioane. Rieko Ioane gets it. The All Blacks have won the game and they have regained the Dave Gallaher Cup.